Okay, in this video we're checking out the FlexRC Ascent-X 3-inch Lite frame. And this is basically the same frame, or very similar to the full-size version, which I have here on the right. Let's bring it in here. Obviously the full-size version is bigger. And you can see the obvious difference here is the cage size. It is longer and taller than the Lite version. The thickness of the bottom plate is also different. 3 millimeters on the full version. The Lite version is a 2 millimeter bottom plate, so obviously light means it's going to be lighter. The side plates are still 2 millimeters for the cage, but the cage is obviously smaller on the Lite version versus the full-size version, so again, a weight reduction there. Now, the frame weight with just a couple of nylon standoffs for the Lite version is coming in around 5 grams or something like that. Pretty light. I don't remember what the full-size version came in. I think it was something like 12 or 13 grams, so it was more than double. So obviously you want to get the full-size version for bigger motors. You know, with the thicker bottom plate, it's going to hold it better in crashes, and or if you want to have more equipment, a taller stack for, say, split mini. So for the first version with the 2 boards, then the extra space here is going to be beneficial for you. Now, if you want to go for a lighter setup here, then you can go with the smaller pod, maybe the Split Mini version 2 or the Cat X Turtle version 2 with a single board might be okay. But you want to be careful on the motors you choose here, because even though the whole pattern will take 9 or 12 millimeter size motors, which means you can put a big motor on here. You can put a giant 1507 if you want. But it's probably not recommended, because the extra weight of the motors and all the equipment is going to probably snap an arm if you crash. This is really meant for a lightweight setup. And actually, the motor I put on here is the Gepor C1206 motor, and this is the 6000 kV version. So I'm running this on 3S. And this is probably this, and or like a 1304 is probably going to be the biggest motor you're going to want to put on this. I wouldn't recommend a 14 size motor like a 1406, 1407, anything that, you know, that's going to weigh a lot. The 1206 motor is kind of on the heavier side as well, and this came in around 90 grams right here, as you're seeing here with the props and everything, no battery. So, you know, if you go with, like, say, a smaller motor, like an 1106 or 1105, you can get the weight down probably closer to 80. Yeah, I would say around 80 grams, I think. I didn't actually test that. But yeah, the motors do make a big difference. But I wanted to try out these bigger 1206 motors on here. I think that's going to be the upper limit of this sort of frame, and see what the power was like. And you'll see it's interesting as I do some long punch outs down the same park as this guy here, which I ran on 6S on this 1306 motor at 2700 kV. So obviously kV is very different here, 3-inch props and everything. You know, the speed is not, at least initially, is not much slower. Obviously with the 3S LiPo, you get battery sag and high kV, you get battery sag at the end there. But yeah, if you want to get an idea of like a 1206 versus 1306 and 3S versus 6S, watch this other video here where I did the 6S testing on this one. You know, obviously it's a lot heavier, bigger motor, but you're running a 6S battery versus a 3S battery, but this is a lot lighter as well. So it's going to be an interesting comparison. You guys can watch that video and compare it to the flight demo for this video on some of those punch outs down the same field that I was running at the park, and you got an idea of like, oh, you know, initially you'll get that initial same burst, but then this one does tail off halfway down the field. So, you know, that's due to LiPo sag versus on a 3S versus the 6S. So it's an interesting comparison if you guys want to check out that other video. Okay, in terms of the rest of the components on here, nothing too fancy. I've got a Runcam Swift Micro on there. The stack is an HGLRC F428, 28 amp 4 ASD F4 flight controller, and TX20 V2 video transmitter. So it's just all HGLRC stuff. I've seen that stuff on my channel lots and lots of times, but I'll put links to those parts down below. And I'm just running a generic FreeSky D8 receiver there, and running this, testing out this Ectuna antenna. This is actually a circular polarized antenna. I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. I've been testing that out on a lot of different micros, and you saw I was testing it out on the full-size version as well, so you get an idea what the video reception is like. It's a very light antenna. It's like 4 grams, I think, or maybe less. A couple grams. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll show you that in the video later. But yeah, I've been testing this out on a lot of micros. I think that might be an interesting alternative circular polarized antenna, because it is lighter and it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $5 or something like that. Anyway, so this is an overall nice flyer. I like the power to weight ratio of this 1206 motor versus this lightweight setup. So obviously I have another set of 1206 4500 kV motors I'll be trying out on 4S on a different micro. You'll see that pretty soon, so you guys can compare the 1206 on different KVs, obviously on the 3-inch prop, of course. Now, if you guys are here for the giveaway and you want to know how to get this frame for free, here are the basically the instructions, and I'll repeat those also down in the description. In the description, they'll be more complete in case I missed anything. Basically, you need to subscribe to my channel, you need to subscribe to FlexRC's channel, you need to leave one comment down below with the proper hashtag according to the instructions down below to qualify and put in a valid entry, and you can't comment more than once, otherwise your entries are disqualified. Also, your subscriptions need to be public, so I need to be able to verify that you're subscribed to me and to FlexRC. And then if that all checks out, I will have a basically a drawing and a winner announcement on this particular frame. It's just the frame, not the build here, and it's going to be sent to you by FlexRC directly, and it's not going to be coming from me. And I'll be doing that drawing sometime in the next couple of weeks. And if you want to be notified when that video will come out, you need to click the notification bell down below to get notified on new videos. Otherwise, you might miss that. Because all of my giveaway announcements, the winners must claim their prizes within 48 hours. Otherwise, I'm just going to select a new winner. It's just basically the reason I'm doing that is because people they show up, they see the giveaway, they comment, and then they never come back, and I have to put a limit on whether when they can claim the prize, because otherwise it'll just sit there unclaimed for weeks. Sometimes I had that happen a few giveaways a while back, so I'm just doing that from now on. And if you want to be sure you don't miss that notification, make sure you have the notification bell turned on so that you'll know that if you've won, you'll be aware of that. Otherwise, if you don't have them, you might miss that video, and that prize will then end up being unclaimed. Anyway, full instructions will be down below. I'll go ahead and show you the flight demo now. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, so in case everyone is wondering what PIDs I'm flying, this is the one I'm flying. Getting a feel for these motors. Really nice so far. A little bit of prop wash oscillation there. Just running 3S battery, GNB 550 I normally run. A little bit of wind taking that. Could use a little more anti-gravity. Not too bad. There's a little bit of prop wash oscillation on the hard turns. Might need a little bit more D-gain, perhaps. You know, the 1206 motors definitely have a lot more throttle resolution compared to an 1106. I feel like I have more control in the center stick. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, now I'm hitting a low battery. Towards the end of the battery here, so not as much power. And if I let off the throttle a little bit, I'm recovering back up to 10.7 volts. Alright, now at 10.1, I think it's time to land. 3.5 minutes, not too bad. 3-inch prop, 1206 motors. Oh yeah, oh, my battery's totally dead. Like 9 volts, not so good.